Greetings everyone and welcome to another Brothers War draft. I quite like the format, so I'm still I'm not really bored of it at all, even though there's still some time before the next set releases. This is a first pick card always, and also I still haven't opened my packs, and I think I still am a few mythics short of completing the set if I opened all my packs right now, so I'm happy to also pick a mythic rare, but regardless of that, this is always going to be a first pick. You can play this in any deck. You would like to have access to white mana, of course, but it's not necessary. 5 mana 4/6 that will quite often draw you a card, because it's not that hard to have two other creatures on the battlefield. You get a free card every turn. It's just amazing. It's gonna be the first pick. The other interesting cards in this pack are stuff like Dissident. It's 2 colors, so I wouldn't be happy to first pick, but this is a fairly weak pack. I might first pick it, or I might even pick something like Echo Wellspring, which has, it's colorless and it has a lot of various kind of, synergy options. Okay, well, that's an interesting pick. Someone took the regular rare / mythic rare, so, it could be a drafting or something that is even better than a precursor column. So, but it would have to be a pretty darn good card. Now this does fall to a single targeted removal from the opponent, but when they don't have it, it's just insane. 5 mana, 9 worth of stats spread across 3 bodies, and of course if you have something like pump spells yourself, you can even benefit from the ability. It's of course going to be the pick here. The pack also has an Overwhelming Remorse, which would be a good second pick. I like the opportunist enough to pick it early, especially with the dispenser. I already have something to ramp to, but yeah, this is really easy. Precursor column, actually pretty insane set of first 2 cards in here. Alright, so I'm like slightly incentivized to have a white in my deck, but not really a lot. Okay, so the question in this pack is, well, first of all, these uncommons are really close to each other, these 2 color uncommons. I think I would take the Vanguard just because it has the white, mana, white, includes white in its mana cost, and Platoon Dispenser would like to have the access to white, but it's really, you could take either of those. They are very close to each other in the power level. Now, another option I could pick here is just a mat, keep myself basically colorless. Maybe have some way to access the red mana. But I think the Vanguard is good enough that I should take it over the mat, but this is definitely a premium 2-drop. Especially when you have access to red, and it's not that hard to have some access to red even if you don't have it as your main color. Let's take the Vanguard still. Okay, Combat Treasure, oh, another mat. Wow, these packs are actually quite strong. There's also a very good green 2-drop in the Argothian Sprite here. But since I have a red-white card, I'm gonna take the Combat Treasure. Of course this works, in a red-white deck too, but I just like them drawing a card part a lot here, and the 7 mana 3/3 double strike is of course very nice when you have that amount of mana available. It's a pretty sad thing to actually be passing 2 mats here, but I'm gonna pass a good card regardless. I'll take the uncommon here, but you could take the mat if you think that is the actual better card. I'm not even sure if that pick was right, but I prefer maybe picking the uncommons over commons when there's nothing really clear indication to which one is stronger, because you get to play more commons than uncommons. Alright, so here this is actually a deck that could use the Scrapsmith. I have already 3 artifacts. I'm happy to hit with this ability, but then again this is a card that comes rather late. There's also another sprite here. I could take the Juggernaut. I have some heavy hitters, so I don't necessarily need a 5-drop here. Actually, I'm considering the Scrapsmith here. It's really, out of this cycle, it's the card I play the least, but it's really good when you have high power cards, and the Dispenser and the Golem are insane hits, so I should maybe consider that. Okay, I don't see any white here, so I think the Vanguard might be, reduced to just a splash, or maybe a cut altogether, but I'm gonna take the Stalwart. I have seen a lot of green now. Sadly, I did pass those two drops, which are fantastic, but this is a fairly weak pack. The Stalwart here is, I think, the strongest card. The Race to the Ground is, like fine, but it's more like a sideboard card. I don't care about it too much. And here I see a decent blue card. I like the Warplow a bit. There's a Prospector. I don't think it's gonna be a Prospector deck. The Power Stones will be useful with all these, but this says other creatures, so you have to have like a you have to be able to swamp the board a bit to make the card worth playing. And I have some 5-drops here already, so I don't want to include another 5-drop. How about the retrieval unit? I could take the Warplow if black is open. Wing Commander is good, but I have no reason to go blue here. I think with the amount of artifacts I have here, I might just take the retrieval unit here. I don't like it too much, but I will definitely benefit from any power stones, and that's it's passable. I mean, card, yeah, you can definitely pass, but I mean, it's allowed to be included in a deck. It's not that weak. Here I can take the talisman or just take the sprite. I guess I'm not gonna pass a third sprite. Getting these so late means that green is at least somewhat open. There's also Disfigure here, by the way. Very good mono red card. But yeah, the elite is good. Talisman. This pack has multiple options, but since I took the Stalwart, I'm gonna take the sprite here. And okay, Pyrrhic Blast, is that something I'm interested in? Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite decent. You can sacrifice the precursor golem itself to, prevent the opponent from killing all your golems in one shot. And I have, if I'm gonna end up playing green, I have some high power creatures to sack. I don't like the Recluse that much. You could still take the Scrapwork Rager here too, but I don't think it's that important. I'm gonna try the Pyrrhic Blast. It's not necessarily going to be played, but it's possible. Okay, and now I get the Power Stone Engineer quite late. I mean, it works pretty well in this deck. I could still be, white red after all. There's nothing green in here. I'm not sure if the signals have really been very clear in this draft. It seems like various different colors have been maybe open or not. And then I'm gonna take the engineer here regardless. So okay, and now I got all these green cards. Giant Growth is like fine. Our Animist is good if I have more power stones, but I don't really have a lot now. I mean, I guess I could still take it. I could take the Goliath. It's also a decent sideboard card, I suppose. I don't know though. I'm gonna take this. This is the strongest card if I have the support for it. Right. This is... I mean, am I gonna have a space for the dig site? I don't know, I might, so I'm gonna pick it. I don't like usually running it. It's a bit harsh to run a land that doesn't add a color. Well, maybe the Rager is ending up in the deck, who knows. None of this matters. Harbin. Okay, well that's not in my colors at all. This pack does have two very good options at least. I would be happy to take the Horned Stoneseeker. I would be happy to take the Opportunist. Now, am I gonna be a red deck? Because I actually don't have that many reasons to be red. There's the Vanguard, which I might even cut from the deck, and the Pyrrhic Blast isn't, that good. I'm definitely easily cutting it as well. The Scrapsmith is, it's something I can easily cut. But the Stoneseeker is better than the Opportunist. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Stoneseeker. It's such a high quality 2-drop. And I definitely can benefit from the Power Stone. Okay, I have already passed 2 much in the draft, and I'm probably going to pass another one, which is kind of funny, especially because it seems like I might be red, having at least some amount of red in my deck, but there's another Stoneseeker. How can I pass this? I mean, 2 minis for 2, a single caster card. It's just that's a very high quality limited 2-drop. So it's just very hard to pass this if you are red. So yeah, I'm gonna just take it. And then I have a Prison Sentence. The Behemoth is nice if you have ideally 2 Evolving Wilds in the deck. Then you could play this for the combo potential. I don't know about my second color yet. Now that I see a Prison Sentence here, I might actually just continue with the white. I took the Engineer also, so I could actually abandon the green here. I'm gonna take the Prison Sentence. It is the best card in the pack, which is a fairly weak pack, but this is still a decent card in this format, so I'm not sad about picking it. and anything for white and red. Probably nothing that is main deckable. I don't like the burnished heart too much, but my artifact count also starts to be quite low, so I'm starting to not like the scrapsmith too much. Loran's escape is always like playable, and the riposte is a decent sideboard card against aggressive decks. I don't like to main deck it unless I'm very controlling deck in the to begin with. Right, so I'll take the escape. And I'm very close to abandoning the green here. Well, I mean, that would have been maybe a little bit more difficult decision if the Opportunist was the best card in the pack, but there's a third Stone Secret is pretty nice. I'm gonna at least get rid of the green for now. I can still maybe move into it. I don't have that many white cards that I need to stick to white, but of course this pick is really easy. Stone Secret. It's actually quite amazing. I have 3 of them. I got all of them in this pack also. How about this pack? There's a Loran Disciple of History and Ambush Paratrooper. It's gonna be one of those. The thing with the Disciple is that I don't have a lot of targets for it, but I have some. By the way, the Rager shouldn't be here. I don't really like to have this card, even in everything that in decks that have access to black necessarily. But yeah, the Dispenser, the Golem, the Treasure are very nice pickups with this thing. But the Paratrooper is also quite good. That said, I have a decent amount of 2-drops, so I'm gonna take the Loran. I will go for the high power. Hopefully find some other artifacts or another Loran. Well, I'm taking that Paratrooper now over the other Loran. He's actually quite nice. I got one of each. So I think if I previously picked the Paratrooper, I would now take the Loran. So however I chose, I would end up with 1 and 1. Unleash Shell is decent, but a little bit expensive. I also don't care about the Stone Retrieval unit anymore. And with that, I think I'm gonna not plan on playing the Scrapsmith with this amount of targets. But now I can at least take an artifact here to combine with the Loran I have here. So I could take the Blitz Automaton, the Amulet, Juggernaut. I think I want to have the 3-drop here, potential 3-drop. So I'm gonna just take it. Although the treasure is 1 too, I should maybe put it like this. Alright, so here I have a Springleaf Drum and a Laydown Arms. I don't have, if I'm gonna end up playing red and white, I don't have any off-color, Unearth or anything currently, so Springleaf Drum maybe not that important. I could take the Laydown Arms maybe as a sideboard card, because this deck will have mountains and plains, so I won't be able to exile any big creatures, but it's a sideboard card. When the opponent has a lot of 2-drops I want to get rid of, I can use maybe this out of the sideboard, and here maybe the Power Blade is something I could play. Do I have a lot of soldiers? No, I don't really have. But looking at this pack, this is just not very interesting. Okay, Whirling Strike, definitely a good trick. I'm happy to have it here. And I got the Riposte for sideboard, so this pack actually went really well, especially because I got triple Stone Seeker here. I won't be playing the Union here, so I'm just going to take the uncommon for Vault value. And I got even a playable 2-drop, which I might not need, but it's pretty late. And I don't think this is going to be a Scrapsmith deck. Now, I would be very happy to take the Battlefield Forge, just free mana fixing. Excellent stuff, but there is a Scrapwork cohort here, so it's not really a big decision. I think I would actually take the cohort over the frontliner. I'm not that aggressive necessarily. I mean, yeah, I would take the Forge over the frontliner. I don't know what did I say, but I would take it. But here I'm gonna take the cohort. It's just amazing, especially when you play main color white, so you will always have access to the Unearth. So it's a very easy pick, especially because my 4-drop slot is, well, actually it's not that empty, but I might not end up playing the Pyrrhic Blast now that I'm not green. Actually, it's gonna be cut maybe based on my picks now. Because you should play this only in decks that allow you to actually deal a massive amount of damage. If you deal 2 or 3, that's not really enough for the 4 mana cost. Alright. Ironaut Cavalry is otherwise good, but I have such a low amount of soldiers. It's gonna give the counter. It's not always gonna be able to give the counters, but yeah, the best card in the pack is the Bailout. It would be very funny to have the Cliffstomper, but I don't think I can really, reduce the white to just a splash. So this won't be reliably getting any, power even on my turn. So I don't think it's the pick. Do I need the 3-1 here? I don't really think. I'm gonna take the Cavalry for now. I might play it, I might not play it, but I think it's the the card with most potential out of those options. Okay, here I'm actually going to take the Well, I could take the Avenger, but maybe not some. I don't actually have any Power Stone generating anymore, do I? Well, sorry, I do. I have the triple Stone Seeker, but I usually don't count them that much because it's a lot. You can't really rely on them. These get removed very often, so you can't rely on. You can't really count these as mana sources for your artifacts. But still, I'm choosing between the Avenger and the Juggernaut. I think I like the Juggernaut like a slightly more. When I don't have any reliable ramp to 6, I can cast this thing at 5, the other one requires 6, so that's a tiebreaker there. And here. The wings is good. Yeah, this is a fairly big pack. I'm not taking another cavalry here. Do I care about the wings? I mean, how many creatures do I even have here? 15. Okay, that's a lot of creatures out of 19. I might still cut the blast, I'm not sure. I need to make a pick very soon. I'm not really sure if I care about the wings that much, but I'm not taking second cavalry. It's between the rock hunter and wings. I'm gonna take the wings. I'm gonna maybe be able to get some random 2-drop still in this draft, so the wings is maybe like a more of a unique option there. And I think I'm kind of having enough 2-drops. This is 6 2-drop creatures. That is, an acceptable amount. So I don't need to force more 2-drops, especially if they are, somewhat mediocre ones as the rock hunter. Whirling Strike, Warlord's Elite. I don't have, 1-drop, so this is never gonna be a turn 3 play, but this can still be a turn 4, 4, so I guess I'll take it. Not really, care about. I mean, the other option would be to take the Whirling Strike, but it's also a soldier, so the more soldiers I pick, the more reasons I have to play the cavalry here. Okay, well, definitely don't need the wings here, the Mine Worker either. Okay, I'm gonna take the Whirling Strike. I might play 2 of these. It's a pretty decent card. Amulet, Soul Guide Lantern, Calamity's Wake. Well, I mean, this is not. It's just an uncolor uncommon, but of course it's not. I mean, I haven't ever seen a match where I would want to actually exile this thing. Play this thing. I read the text, so that's why it said that. Alright, so I'm gonna take the Lantern actually. I don't think the Amulet fits in this deck because I have enough 5s already and not really any amount of self-mill. So I can take the Lantern, which is always decent. Also, that makes it possible to have the Elite to be a turn 3 cast. Here I think I'll take the Infantry because it's a soldier. And well, I could take the Flask, but this deck has not really synergy for it too much. I'm gonna take it. That makes it, I think I have now 7 soldiers, or 6 plus the cavalry, so that's maybe enough to play it. Here I can put a sideboard Sigil. I don't think I need the Discipline. I already have 2 Whirling Strikes which do very similar things. So I can take this as a sideboard card. I don't necessarily want to main deck it. Here I just take an uncommon because none of these will be played. I think I have 1 Power Blade here somewhere, either in my deck or in my sideboard. Okay, yeah, I don't need the second one. I don't need the second one of those. I'll take this, which I still don't think I'm gonna be playing, but I'm still taking it because it's an uncommon. Okay, if I really need to have defenses against the opposing X1s, I can maybe sideboard this guy in. And here, Ward 2. I mean, is there ever a chance, a game where opponent plays so much expensive spot removal that you actually want to have this for Ward 2? I think not, but it's still more likely than having the graveyard exiling thing. Okay, so when I switch the camera view, I also paused to get a cup of coffee, and I realized something. I talked about not being able to get this on turn 3 unless I maybe have the Soul Guide Lantern on turn 1, but that's not exactly right. Because if I get a Horned Stoneseeker on turn 2 and it doesn't get removed, of course I will have a creature and an artifact. Assuming I get the third land too, I can actually have the Elite on turn 3, which would be a fantastic curve out, and I have 3 of these guys. So actually I would not mind having more than more than 1 of these, but I think I might have passed 1, but there was probably something better to pick over it. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. Okay, so the Thran Power Suit just accidentally got into the deck. I'm not playing that. The question is, am I going to play which amount of lands? Okay, the Prospector shouldn't be there either. So that is now already 24. Sadly, I didn't get the Battlefield Forge, would have been fantastic. This is 8, 9. colored cards. I guess this is counting as both, so I think I have a total of 16. And then there are 8 artifacts. Yep, 16 colored spells, 8 artifacts for now. Any reason to cut a card? Well, I do like all of these, except maybe the Perk Blast. So let's figure out about this a little bit. So it's of course great with anything that has 4 power, but that's really like the platoon dispenser or maybe something equipped by these wings. You know, it could be the arrow counter, it could be the automaton smaller version of it, could be the conscripted infantry. This has 4 power. Now this can also trigger, but of course I have to take into account that this thing is a 4 mana card. So in order to trigger this thing, I have to first have a creature enter the battlefield, which will cost at least 2 in this deck. So I mean, it's still something I can do at 6 or 7 mana. To, you know, get the pump out of this and then get the Pyrrhic Blast. I also don't have a lot of removal. I do have a Prison Sentence in here, and that's pretty much it. I have, of course, this duo of combat tricks, which help, you know, a little bit, because they help to push through. Sometimes you need removal to push through, sometimes you have combat tricks which help there. Of course, they are a bit riskier because opponent with open mana can really mess things up. I'm not going to main deck the lay down arms or the deadly riposte here, but yeah, I am thinking, I mean, even though I have here, yeah, I do have 4 cards that cost 5, and I can't cast this cheaper except for with the help of the Horned Stone Seeker. So yeah, if these were permanent Power Stones, I suppose I can also trade the Engineer early, or maybe even jump block in some scenarios, and then I can get the Power Stone from there. So I have 3 of my 5 drops, you know, can be cast partly by using the Power Stones, or also fully, but of course I won't have 5 Power Stones in this deck. So maybe that's not so bad because of the basically 4 cards that can give me a Power Stone. This thing can cantrip for cheap. This can give me a scry to find more lands, because once I get my 3 lands, I'm pretty good to go. If I also have a Power Stone, well then I can cast a Cohort, but none of these either other things. So yeah, the question is, am I going to cut like the Pyrrhic Blast or maybe the Cavalry from the main deck? I do have 6 other targets for it, and also the infantry dies into a soldier still, and the friend this guy brings is also a soldier, so they are kind of like they are a reliable source of soldier tokens. So basically out of these 6 other soldiers I have, 7th one is of course the cavalry itself. 2 of the 6 are, you know, quite reliable in making sure I do have a soldier for the ability. I kind of like maybe running only 16 lands in here, 8+8 mana base here. Not going to bother with the dig site because I'm not gonna make my colors that much worse. The Power Blade is a sideboard option. I think I prefer main decking the wings. The Scrapsmith can hit, you know, 8 cards. It's out of 3, so it's 8 out of 40. So 1 out of 5 is an artifact on average. So this is really, this doesn't have such a good hit rate, and I don't want to have a 3 mana 3/2. Of course, it does dig me in, you know, towards the you know, the bombs I have. So it doesn't matter if I mill them. I suppose if I mill both of them, then I have to choose, but it's not really a bad situation to be in. But yeah, if I don't mill my bombs, I'm at least closer to drawing them. So there's also that thing to take into account. But if I would play the Scrapsmith, I would have to cut something. Maybe if there is a matchup where I really think I need to rely on my bombs, then maybe I could consider sideboarding into this, or maybe even both of these. By the way, one other thing about the Whirling Strikes is that they are just insanely good with the Golem. 15 points of first strike and trample if I target a Golem with this thing. Yeah, so I think I have made up my mind now. I'm gonna play the Cavalry and the Pyrrhic Blast in the main deck. If it seems like opponent is too aggressive, I might have to cut these expensive cards to put up more defenses, like play something like a Deadly Riposte and lay down arms. So I'm fine with this deck. This is like a half a land because of the cheap cantripping potential it has. Alright, so let's put the lands, which will be 8 plus 8. Bob Ross, maybe today for both. They are definitely very, very beautiful illustrations. So let's play those. And that's the main deck. Okay, I have a pretty sweet hand here. The Stoneseeker will help the automaton casting. Also, it helps the Warlord's Elite if I draw a third land. I will be on the draw here. They kept 7, I keep 7. Oh, 2-drop is definitely fine because, of course, I would prefer to draw a land, but as long as I get 2-drops, I can still play those. Alright, so what I'm gonna offer it to the removal, I would really want to play the Stoneseeker here. But I could also just play the Rock Hunter. They might have a disfigure. I'm gonna actually play the Rock Hunter. It's a 3-power, you know, creature, so it's gonna also be quite aggressive. Also, this is aggressive because it's hard to block, but this is fine. This might trade with the Opportunist, which I wouldn't mind at all. And then I can play my Stoneseeker. Oh, they actually are gonna not trade with that thing, which is, I mean, this also already got them value in you know, form of the Power Stone, but they might have like a epic confrontation. Oh, just the battery barriers. Okay, they wanted to have more creatures to, you know, cast their big things. Now this is actually quite good curve out from them. The Please Automaton won't even be useful against the 3-4 here. But I can play the Warlord's Elite. I can attack with the Stoneseeker. I think I actually want to just kill the Battery Bearer with the Elite, but I can't do it on this turn. I can Prison Sentence the Battery Bearer, but it still gives the ability to the other guys they have. But if I do that, they won't have it a 3-4 block. I might be able to... Although I think they will have something bigger I need to Prison Sentence. Then again, the Battery Bearer is still a problem here. Because my 3-power guys are not going to be able to attack into it. Well, I suppose once I have the Paratrooper, then I will, and I can attack with my 4-4. Okay, so I think I'm going to actually do like this. I'm gonna offer the trade on the Opportunist, because that's gonna be able to keep tap them. I mean, they didn't want to trade it with on the previous turn, so maybe they don't want to trade it now. And if they do, that's still it's 1 mana away from me, but it's also 1 mana away from them. And they took the 2 here. If I had one of my 5-drops in my hand, I of course wouldn't then offer the trade. But yeah, this is something I will Prison Sentence. Now they took, of course, a 6 life here, because that is just a very fantastic card. But there's not much really option for me to do. I mean, I could attack with the Stoneseeker, play the cohort, but then it's just not going to do much. I'm gonna do this, and hopefully they will not have many more of those guys. Okay, I'm gonna draw both of them. Yeah, but they gain 6 on this guy, so I mean, imagine if they were at 6 now. This would be a totally different game, especially with the Buried Blast. But they still don't have an answer for a flyer, so I can maybe deal some damage with the Paratrooper, and then... Okay, that's not... I mean, it will trade with the Elite, so there's that. Is that, by the way, a splash? I don't know about the colors. They have green as main color, blue. I guess this could be splashed. Okay, they can confront that guy. Well, it's not a big deal, because they actually could have just blocked with the Ashnod anyway. But yeah, maybe the Paratrooper can deal some amount of damage. Okay, they go to 11. As long as they don't have another Boulder Branch Golem, I think I'm taking 4 damage this turn though. I'm going to down to 16. And I can't really attack with the Automaton anymore. I was thinking about playing the Automaton and then the Paratrooper, but of course it will just trade with the Rager here. Don't really think it's worth it. Although if I attack with all of my guys, then they can't... Now I definitely don't want the Stoneseeker to die. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. they might double block. Although they might not double block if I'm gonna... Yeah, I mean, they would take 6 in that case. So this is actually my play. I'm gonna play this automaton guy. Then I can play the... You know, I guess I could play the Power Stone Engineer, but I think the Paratrooper will be more important. But let's see how they block. I'm gonna, you know, take all the trades. They are gonna... They might trade with the automaton and the rock hunter, go down to 9. Unless they want to keep the Ashnod there. It will create them some tapped tokens, but I really like if they go now to... If they now go to 6. Yeah, they are not gonna go for them. That would be a little bit too risky for them. So, am I going to play the Paratrooper or the Power Stone Engineer? Because the Engineer can actually block the Opportunist. Otherwise, I take a lot of damage. Paratrooper is not exactly in a spot to really, you know, to win, make me win yet. Now that they made the blocks there like that, they are still at 9 here. But yeah, the battery bearer really is doing some work for them. But I guess the most work was done by the, you know, the Boulder Branch Golem actually. +6 life here is just, you know, they would just lose the Pyrrhic Blast. Of course, they would have had something else if it wasn't the Boulder Branch Golem, so it's not really that simple. Now, do I want to have my Power Stone? I don't think so. I'm gonna take 2 here. I wanna have the additional attacker. Plus, this way I can actually draw a card from the dispenser, because it requires 2 other creatures. So, whenever they cast an artifact spell that costs at least 6, they will draw a card. So hopefully they don't have more of those. They drew 1 from the golem. Alright, so I guess it's gonna be the dispenser. I mean, it's actually big enough for body to actually battle here. So let's just play the dispenser and hope they don't have a counter spell. They do have the combat courier ability up, so I'm not scared about their priorities here. No attacks, draw a card. They also draw a card. Okay. Well, they have a lot of cards in hand. 4 now, we'll have 5 of the draw step. But they are also, you know, facing a Pyrrhic Blast. I might draw one of my... Well, let's see what happens. They're gonna shoot that thing down first. No unearth for this guy, unfortunately. It's still, you know, a 4-power creature also when you unearth it. But at least that is use of a lot of their mana. And if they tap these guys for mana, it's not so great. So, sadly the 3-4 is doing a little bit of work there. Now, if I play this, I won't have 5 mana, even with the Power Stone, to pump these guys, so any attack is quite bad. Unless I wanna trade the Haunt Stoneseeker with either the Opportunist or the Sprite. I guess the Sprite threatens to become bigger, and the Opportunist is also... Yeah, I think I don't mind. I mean, I don't necessarily need them. Power Stone here. I can play, you know, the Scrapbook Cohort this turn, next turn, at the end of their turn, the Paratrooper, and then of course I will have the 5 mana for the pumps. And even if I threaten to have this as a 3-3 on the next turn, that's still going to trade with the Opportunist. So I'm gonna just do like this. And if they wanna trade, they can trade. At least that also, you know, cut a mana from them. Also from me, but for me it's at least not relevant. I don't know if it's gonna be relevant for them. They do have the unearth into draw a card, so it's definitely something they could use. Oh, there it is, another Boulder Branch Golem. Them having 12 life more in this game is... Oh man. That's just, I mean, the Boulder Branch Golem is such a, you know, tough thing to beat when I'm already struggling to deal any damage here because of the, you know, the big things here. But I have to try here, of course. Now I can make this guy into a 5-1. It will trade... I can't really do with this because it will, of course... You know, this will be blocked by the 6-5. I need to offer a trade. Now, I could also just make 3 extra with the Paratrooper here. Well, I'm gonna play this regardless. Who I'm gonna target? Oh man, the Boulder Branch Golems. I mean, it could have been something else that cost 7 mana and didn't give them additional 6 life. And I think it would have been better for me. So if I'm attacking with the cohort, the thing is I don't mind if this dies because it's actually gonna give me double trigger for the Vanguard, so I'm going to do that. Even if they just trade with the sprite here, it's not a big deal. Because when I get to unearth it, it's, you know, triggering this twice, which will be very nice. And now I don't have to at least worry about the sprite getting counters, but I think with the amount of cards they have in their hand, it's not really a big concern. They weren't gonna use 7 mana on this thing anytime soon. So how do I deal with these Boulder Branch columns? I don't have any particular answer in my sideboard for them. I guess my Paratrooper is still alive, so there's that. I don't have any other flyers, but I do have Ironouts wings. That would be huge. At least they don't have that many, you know, attacks, because I can block with some of my stuff quite easily here. I mean, they do have attacks, but the point is that I don't have to care about it too much. And if they... Well, I guess this is a turn when they can attack with the Boulder Branch column. They kept that card on top. It wasn't a land, but it was something they didn't want to mill either, because you can choose to mill non-lands with this thing. Well, you can choose to mill also lands if you don't put it in your hand, but you know, usually you take a land in your hand if that's in the on the top. Yeah, I think this is just showcasing the power of Boulder Branch Golem, especially against this kind of an archetype, because the life they have gained here is just massive, and this deck, you know, just relies on being able to deal, you know, quickly enough damage so the opponent can't really get into the game. Now, I can deal +6 with this guy on this turn because I can have both Unearth and Stoneseeker here. They would be going to 6 here. It's still not going to be enough with the Pyrrhic Blast anytime soon. I wish I had, you know, what, 9 mana total to actually also cast the Pyrrhic Blast. They might even have a disfigure there, but I'm not gonna play around that kind of stuff. And the problem is if I pump my ground guys, they have these jump blockers. They can block with the Steel Seeker, they can block with the Sprite, and I would have to make at least a 5 power ground guy to make it even possible to attack. So I think I'll just well, I guess I could. Well, I'm gonna do this regardless. Am I gonna give the cohort plus? Yeah, it's gonna only trade with the Steel Seeker, I'm pretty sure. But maybe I'm gonna gamble a bit. Maybe I don't mind if they trade there, because I wouldn't mind them actually, you know, losing some blockers here. Here I can just do this. Because of course the cohort is gonna die regardless, so now they at least have to take, I mean, 10 damage, which I don't think they're gonna take, but the Steel Seeker block is forced now, otherwise they would have just blocked with the Boulder Branch Golem. And yes, I would have dealt 7 damage with this thing, but problem is it's just, them being at 6 is not enough. Now I have a, you know, a little bit of a white board here, it's making it a lot harder for them to start their own attacks, for instance. Oh, they took all that. Oh man, is that gonna mean that they have another Boulder Branch Golem? Because of course now I'm very close to winning with the Pyrrhic Blast. Don't play a third golem. I mean, if they have a gain 18 life, if I have to deal 38 damage in one game, that's harsh. But let's see. I mean, that was a really risky play, not blocking with, you know, either the Sprite or the Steel Seeker. I mean, I could have an Excavation Explosion, a common that everyone plays. And they still haven't gained any life here. They might have a removal here, but... Okay, I need just a cheap enough creature to trigger the Vanguard here. They have 6 blockers, so even with the Menace guy, I don't have, sadly, a way to... I mean, I guess if they attack now, because I only need one guy to go through. Currently they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. Okay, well that's it. Oh, it's not exactly, because I don't have the... Ah, yeah, this I would have needed only a cheap creature here. Oh man, this is so nasty. But yeah, what I was saying, they can block all of my guys right now. Oh man, the Pyrrhic Blast is not doing it quite. they can block 2 with the put 2 on front of the Stone Seeker, and then they still have 4 other blockers on these guys. And the blocks are very bad for me. I can't just make such an attack. So another question is, should I wait that because if my next turn is going to be no, actually, sorry, the infantry is already enough. So I would definitely play this now, because I don't even need to trigger the Vanguard on the next turn now. Because as long as the infantry is alive, I can finish them off with the Pyrrhic Blast. But now they have another turn here to do shenanigans. I'm not afraid of them attacking. I'm not dying to their attack because of these jump blockers. But I really didn't want them to have another turn. Now they have only one card in their hand. So let's see what that's gonna be. Am I supposed to block here like with the Power Stone Engineer? I mean, I could, no, I'm not gonna put all these blockers. I could go to 8, I think, but sir, excuse me. I'm just gonna block here. Maybe they have like a gas mine. They wanna trample through some damage. That's not what happened. So now I'm winning against most things they might have. Counter spell is, of course. Well, the Whirling Strike is now I'm regretting blocking with the Engineer. But I guess I can. Well, I'm gonna still try to go for it for the win this turn. There's no way for me to win otherwise. I'm gonna do this attack and just use a combination of these tricks. I mean, because there's a chance that they block one of my guys so that the Whirling Strike is gonna make their trample lethal. And then if they have a response to that, then I can still use the Pyrrhic Blast, sacrificing the infantry here. But because I blocked with the Power Stone Engineer, it's actually not that easy for that to happen. Yeah, sadly, that seems to not happen. No, actually, wait a minute. Oh, they're actually taking the... Wow, they're taking the... What? So they're actually taking this guy through, so I can just do this. And then if they have something, they will have to respond, and then I can respond with the Pyrrhic Blast. That's actually a pretty brave thing to do, not block the 1-1 at all. I mean, they double blocked the... Oh, because this has Menace. What am I saying? Oh, because they did attack... Oh, yeah, of course, this has Menace. Oh, they used as much blockers as they had available. So... If I realized that, I maybe shouldn't have blocked with the Engineer, because I would have had one guy dealing certain damage to them. Actually 2, in fact. Wait a minute, did they just leave themselves open to a lethal attack? So let's say if they didn't have anything relevant in their hand, I don't block with the Engineer. And I just attack with everything. Oh, they can block everything except for 2 1-1s. So they weren't gonna die unless I had a trick. Yeah, because then they would have blocked the Engineer and left this guy go through and this guy go through. Yeah. So they didn't leave themselves dead. Okay, but hey, that was a victory after all. So this does seem like a matchup where Sigil of Valor might be a good one to include. These definitely are not so important. Now this actually does get rid of the sprites, but I really hate giving them any more life, because they're already getting a lot of life. I wish I had the 3-drop uncommon from red that says players can't gain life, but I don't have it this time. I have 3 of these uncommons at least. So yeah, I'm thinking, how about the Loran's Escape? This also targets artifacts, so if they try to kill a non-creature artifact with the shoot down, I can, let's say, I think the only option is the wings equipment. But yeah, I see here 1, 2, 3 targeting removals. I should definitely keep playing the Loran's Escape here. But what I'm here considering is the Sigil of Valor. Is that gonna be better than something else in here? I think the Pyrrhic Blast is still kinda okay. It's actually pretty good with the Juggernaut too. Alright. I'm thinking about this, but I'm also thinking that it's a little bit clumsy maybe. I'm not going to sideboard it in. I'm not going to sideboard anything. I feel it's not necessary. Their 3-4 blocker, did good job of denying some attacks from me, but then again I have a couple of whirling strikes and okay, well this is a fantastic hand. They actually mulligan there and I have a very good 2-drop, 3-drop even if the Stone Seeker dies, and then if this dies I can get it back with the Loran. And I have a trick to push through, so this is a fantastic hand. Yep. Let's see how aggressive of a start they have a good one on here. They can gain some value out of that guy. I'm gonna play the Menace guy because if they're gonna double block, the Whirling Strike will be fantastic. So let's say they have an Argot and Opportunist and then they double block this guy, I kill them both. Okay, they didn't have even an artifact there yet. They could have like the rare, the Urza's Battlethopter or whatever. I could wait until I'm at 6 mana, 6 lands because I have the Power Stone, but it's a little bit too greedy. Especially because of the Loran, I should just, allow it to die, and then I bring it back, and then maybe I can play it as a 7-drop. Okay, they have no 3-drop at all, so this is now... I mean, they did mulligan to 6, so they might have to keep maybe a little bit risky hand. They also play 3 colors, so they don't have access to blue right now. I don't know about their mana base. Now they have an opportunity. This must be something they do on this turn. So they get also this trigger. Is it gonna be a land? Or is it gonna be a non-land they're gonna keep on top or mill? We will see. It's a non-land they keep on top. Right. Treasure will be a fantastic pickup with the Loran too, but oh, I don't need to play any lands. So I can of course attack into that board and use my Whirling Strike, and then I mean, I don't necessarily have to use it, unless they double block the Stone Seeker. So let's see. I could use the Whirling Strike and then play the Power Stone Engineer, but at that point I'm very powerless to anything, that has a lot of toughness. I want to leave the Whirling Strike here, because I have actually very decent turn here. I just can play the Loran here. I don't think I have any other legendary creatures for re-triggering this guy, but this is totally fine. I might actually, let's say if I draw a land on the next turn, then I will want to protect the Stone Seeker to protect the Power Stone, and I can play both of these at 7. Okay, that's definitely a good turn for them now. So this is the card they likely kept on top. Oh, I mean, it could be anything actually. This could have been in their hand, of course. Alright, so now this was a very good turn for the opponent, and they got some value back, well, because they did mulligan, of course, so now the mulligan is kind of negated. Okay, they again see a non-land they don't wanna mill. Juggernaut will be fantastic. So this turn I'm willing to just trade the Loran. I don't think my deck even has anything that's legendary. It already gave me value. So what I can just do, I can attack with all. If they... even if they put everything on the Stone Seeker, I still... the Stone Seeker will still survive. And that means I can post-combat play the Engineer, perhaps. I mean, if I have to use the Whirling Strike. If they just block with if they might put the Opportunist on the Loran, it's fine, and then I can just play my Juggernaut. So let's do this. I don't mind to trade on the Opportunist here at all. They might double block the Stone Seeker with those guys, and then I'm going to save my Stone Seeker for sure. Also get rid of the Steel Seeker. Get both our Seekers here. And then I can't play the Juggernaut. I have now a decision, but I mean, I'm at 5 lands and 1 Power Stone. This is gonna be a double striker very soon, so this is gonna be the play. And even if I don't draw land, I can, well, then play the spell I'm gonna draw, or just play the Juggernaut. But now I'm out of tricks, so if they have anything that has like 3 power, I can't attack with the Engineer, but I can still attack with the Seeker unless they have 2 blockers, of course. They still don't have blue, but they actually first played the land and then played that. I think they might have wanted, if they wanted to draw the cards, they should have maybe first played this thing. But yeah, they had this -1/-1, but it's not actually that amazing against my deck. I have some 1 toughness creatures, but not an amazing amount of them. And they also had to take some life loss here. They might consider having a 3/3 token, because if they don't have other play, they are 4 damage in here, and of course with the automaton, it could even be a lethal attack if I draw a land. They know I have the automaton in my deck. Sorry, in my hand. So I definitely want to. Oh, don't. Why? Why? I mean, I'm just saying that why did they decide that for so long? Because it actually takes 1 mana from me when they know I have a 7-drop haster here. So I think that should have been an obvious play. Oh, that is a very good one too. I do like the Juggernaut, but well, I mean, this actually isn't going to draw me a card this turn, so. Okay, but problem with Juggernaut is it has to attack into an 8/8. Right. Let's not do that. Let's do Dispenser, even though it's not really going to do much. But yeah, they're gonna crack the mask here, and I need to find my Ironheart's wings. That will be one way to win the game. Of course, there are other ways too. Oh, they have more removal. I guess they have a 5/5 now, which means I can at least trade with the Juggernaut. Yeah, I wouldn't be that sad about it. Although with Unearth they can make a man. Problem is if they have a land drop. I think I have to still go for it. But if they have a land drop, they can unearth and have a 6/6. It would be so unfortunate. But what else there is to do? I can't. I wish I. Yeah, they. No, they actually don't need a land drop. They have already tipped with the 2 power stones. They can make a 6/6 and this only deals 5. Oh man. And this thing has to attack, that's the problem. Okay, I guess I'll just have no real... I mean, I wanna play these as the big versions of them. Yeah, I guess I can kind of force them to play this thing, but I don't even know what my next turn's draw is. Problem is if I don't play anything, that's really horrible too. So let's see. Next turn I can draw a spell or a land. All my lands enter untapped. So at least if they make a 6/6 or a 7/7 if they have a land drop, this is just gonna get eaten by that. This is still going to be a card in my graveyard, so maybe that's not so bad. Then I can play the Blitz Automaton, which is gonna be trading with the 5/5. Now they will still have the big thing left, but and then I can, you know, attack for 2 with this guy. It's really annoying, but the Juggernaut isn't gonna do much unless I'm gonna actually do this. This at least forces them to use the Jade Crafter thing there, and then I mean if I'm lucky I can draw one of the good things. I can draw a Whirling Strike, I can draw the Ironheart's Wings, I can draw a Prison Sentence, or what's the Citizen's Arrest, sorry, that's the thing that is gonna pacify a thing. I have some very good draws obviously, but it's very possible, and of course there's the Pyrrhic Blast too. But I mean it's possible I just waste my Juggernaut's first half like this, but I just hate it to not have any place. So this way I can at least make it, because they didn't have this as a 7/7, I can at least make like this, and they're gonna they will still have the 6/6 there, but at least I can trade with the 5/5, and now I can play the Combat Treasure drawing a card. I'm waiting to draw a Ironheart's Wings. And they are clearly having a blue splash color because they have been able to play a normal game here without the blue. Okay, Sprite is there, and they can make it into a 4/4. Oh, I forgot they have these guys in the deck. Alright, I think it's pretty hard now to win because I don't have a lot of turns here. I think I needed something like that earlier. Would have been so good with the Juggernaut. Yep. Well, making it into 6 power trading with this guy. Anyhow. Yeah, they had the stuff they needed there to stay in the game. And here I'll just block here. Not really much reason to take it 12 here. Yeah, the Boulder Branch Column just made it a bit miserable because they now are not at 8, they are at 14. But their deck also has a lot of good cards. Their sprites are excellent. Opportunist, Steel Seeker, good removal. Yeah, that's a decent deck for sure. I wish I drew these when they had the Mask of the Jadecrafter in their graveyard. That would have been amazing. So now they have a means to make one of these guys into a 4/4. Problem, of course, is that I'm gonna die. They can just take the 5 here. So I can't beat this board. I mean, they can grow these. I am not applying any pressure. There's no reason for me to show any more cards. These are all terrible threats, and I'm only at 8 here. I'm without any capability to deal 14 anytime soon. They're gonna just march over me. So let's see now if I want to. I mean, this is actually quite good against the tokens from the Jadecraft. It's still sad because they have 2 tokens from it. This only exiles one of them. But they also have those sprites, which are cards I don't want to really see. But then again, they only function when they have a lot of mana available. And this gives them 3 life. I really don't like that part. Power Blade and Sigil, I don't think they are that interesting here. Yeah, I think I just need to have a very good draw here. I don't really see if there's anything too bad here. I do even like the Power Stone Engineer creating me Power Stones for these guys. I like the Pyrrhic Blast as a way to make me deal some extra damage. I also have the Whirling Strike, so I have some capability to deal some extra damage, not visible on the battlefield immediately. So yeah, let's do this and hope that... I don't know, I didn't even have a bad draw. I had a very good draw there, but the opponent just, despite mulliganing, had an amazing draw, and I mean their deck just seems pretty good. So it's not really a shame to lose a game like that. Any reason to... Yeah, well, I guess if they play a Jadecraft... I'm thinking about saving this in my hand in case they have one of the Unearthers. They even have an Emergency Weld. So I can play the Paratrooper on 2, Automaton on 3, regardless. So maybe I will wait if they have the, you know, the... Although I might want to draw a card from this thing ASAP, because I, you know, might need more gas. Okay, they again mulligan to 6, so maybe... Well, I'm gonna put that to them playing Steel Islands in their deck, so maybe they... I mean, I just said the deck is good, but... Well, I mean, sometimes you just mulligan to 6 twice, even with a good deck. So now, do I want to save a mana by playing this right now, or do I want to get something with the ETB? Because on turn 4 I might... I'm gonna actually save the mana now. I'm sorry, not save the mana, but save the trigger. Because I really want to get benefit from the trigger if possible. But I might have to, you know, draw a card on a turn. Okay, they have no green yet, so this... Let's see if they have an instant no. But yeah, now so what is the punishment of not playing this on turn 1? Is that I might have to play and draw a card with this next turn, and then I might have a 3-drop after that, which I can't cast. Okay, they just draw more cards, that is totally fine. Okay, but that's actually, well, now I'm with a double Whirling Strike. This is just amazing. They, of course, did mulligan there, and now the Boulder Branch columns won't come to their rescue. They can still play it for 4 and gain 3 here, but that's, of course, not enough given my board here. Yeah, that's... I can just attack with the Whirling Strikes here. If I play a creature here, I can actually just... I like this here, in fact. I can make the Vanguard into a 4-power first striker, trade with the Automaton here, and then I have the infantry to attack with on the next turn regardless, and then I can also play the Lantern this turn. They are gonna go down to 6 regardless. Now if they have an Emergency Weld, I deny this guy. At least. They didn't have the Jadecraft. Mask of the Jadecrafter, what's the card? That's too small to make a big difference here now. Okay, they have a mask, but that is not really gonna help them. I think I have a lethal attack. Because this will keep trample. I have what? 3, that's 6. I have 8 power, and the guy will trample who is. I guess if they make a 1/1, then I don't have a. Then I need another mountain. Because, yeah, now they can actually, if they block with both of their guys, they have 3 toughness to my 8 power. Assuming I don't draw a trigger for the Vanguard, that costs only 2, but let's see. That didn't happen. This could have been a mountain and win the game for me. But I suppose now there's no reason to. I mean, I could, exile this thing, but it's just better to draw a card now. So I don't think if I attack with everything, it's not going to be lethal, but maybe they don't block with the Steel Seeker because of course the opponent has to worry about surviving longer than for 1 turn, so they might just block the infantry, which will make me win the game. Because this is trample. Okay. Well, Boulder Branch golems in old games, but I actually beat 2 full cost golems in the first game, and now I beat 1, small version. But of course the opponent did mulligan to 6 here, and they had their first play was a, very bad card against the and this kind of a start. So game 3 was easy now. Okay, this time no Stone Seeker, but this is a very decent hand again with a 2-drop and a 3-drop. Well, that 1-drop from the opponent definitely makes the Power Stone Engineer less interesting, but I guess if they have a 2-drop, I can still trade with their 2-drop. Yep, that's Engineer is actually quite fine now. Don't mind having it at all. At least it prevents the sprite from attacking, or draw some. They might have like a trick. They attack with the sprite. No. If this thing dies, I just get a Power Stone token. I don't think the opponent wants me to get it this early in the game. But I really don't mind if they use something like an epic confrontation. Okay, they have an elite. Right. Well, that's kinda annoying because my automaton isn't that great right now. I might actually just sentence this guy to prison. And now the question is... yeah, I don't need the planes here. The question is that, am I gonna start a race here? Because they're gonna attack for 3, and when I play the cohort it can't block the sprite either. I'm going to not attack. They are green-white, that can be a really aggressive archetype. They might even have an answer for the sentence. I don't want to take 7 here. So I'm gonna at least try to block the sprite here. My cohort means that I can have... Well, I'm now not the aggressor, the opponent is. Once they are at 7 mana, this sprite will be a problem. And they are already at 5, and they have land drop. Oh, yep, that is... I would have also wanted to deal with the sprite using the prison sentence, but the problem is that this 4/4 would have done some nasty amount of damage if that was the case. But I need to start doing work with the Ironheart's wings or something. I can... Okay, so next turn, if they have another land drop, they will be starting the business with the sprite. Okay, they have a confrontation on that. That means I can play the automaton sooner now, but this also can't be blocked. I will double block this guy. I mean, I just don't want them have... They get the scry too, but I mean, I can return this thing back with the Loran. I think my next turn will be Loran and wings, because I will have mana for that. Returning the cohort. Okay, the Pyrrhic Blast is actually very good. I can deal with the sprite, but I don't have mana to do it this turn, even if I use the Unearth. That's sad. Well, I mean, I can... Or whatever, I'm gonna play this guy regardless. And then they get to scry, they might want to scry into a land, or I don't know. They might have a land in their hand already. Let's return the cohort anyway, and then I can still play the wings, but yeah, this thing can't be blocked by artifacts, so even though I have a lot of blockers, I can't block really. I think the opportunist will trade with the Loran when they attack with it. Let's see how they scry here. Kinda want to see also. Always we want to see 2 to bottom here, but then instead it's 2 to top. Well, one of them could be a land. Okay, but they still have one card on top of their deck. They wanted to keep there. So thing here is that even if I draw land, I don't have cohort. No, and well, yeah, I'm thinking about if I should block the opportunist after all, because I kind of want to deal with the sprite now, and I can deal with it by putting the wings on the Loran, then using Pyrrhic Blast. I have the mana for that. I will take 5 or 7 damage this turn for that to happen though. And then still on the next turn I don't have a good block. I think I still do it like this. Because this is the problem that I need to deal with, and my prison sentence already is there. So 6 mana allows me to do exactly equip and kill. This problem is I still have to take 3 here. That is an actual problem, but I don't think there's any way past that, because I can't raise this guy. It's gonna kill me. Such a nice 2-drop. Yeah, I could... Oh, there's nothing that's too relevant here. This is also the best use for my mana, so let's go. And I could leave it as a blocker, I guess. Make them sink some mana. But I mean, I'm not playing any... they know I have a scrapwork cohort in my hand. Thing is that I don't want to risk them having like a gift of Gaia or something, because they will be very suspicious if I don't play this and pass with mana up. Because of course I could have blocked the opportunist, and then they might even not pump, and then I can't really use the Pyrrhic Blast. So this is the only way to deal with this situation. I will get to draw a card at least, but I'm gonna go to a very low life total here. And they still have, the top card they just drew is one they scried on top. So let's see if I can actually somehow beat them. I have a lot of blockers here, so random ground guys won't be a problem, and I guess the wings will also help me deal with flyers, and the cohort I believe I can deal with. So now starts the defensive plays. Okay, which are... So the Vanguard is of course doing a good job blocking any of these guys. Then I can play the Stone Seeker. This should be a 7-drop. Other option is to play the cohort, Stone Seeker, and equip the wings here. I mean, it's not a bad idea necessarily to do that. Or do I not? I don't have mana for that. I was miscounting. Yeah, I have only 7 here, so yeah, not gonna work. This is better then. This is better, so of course I'm gonna lose to all kind of, pump spells and all that, but I can't play around that stuff. So let's see what they do. Now they at least drew a random card. Without pump spells they can't attack into the Vanguard, but they had that thing, but that still doesn't make me dead. Unless they have another business spell here still. Yeah, I can block the opportunist and I can block the cohort, take only 1 here. So they need more business here for the attack to be a good one, but this is almost like forced. I mean, I could trade with a token, but I just prefer to, you know, leave me at some life total here still. I have to deal with the hasted cohort, but I think something I just have to live with. I guess I can play this as a 6-4 and as a blocker. It's really sad to not use the haste here. But if I mean, I'm not going to take 3 out of these guys. So if I play the cohort, well, I guess I can block it with the token, but then I still don't want to take the 1 here either. Maybe... I really would want to attack with this. Just to win the game, because this actually deals a lot of damage here now. But... well, I guess I'm doing this here, because in the end, I guess I still need to trade with their stuff now. I mean, I guess if they unearth the cohort here, I will just block them both. I mean, I don't have to block the 1-1, but I'm gonna have to block it at some point anyway. If I go to 3, then it threatens to deal me 1 extra, and I don't have... I'm planning to attack with the automaton, so I don't plan to have this as a blocker. Okay, just a drum. That's a mana source at this stage in the game. So they can attack with both of these. I will just trade with both of that. I want to keep their board empty here, so let's do this and this. And I have now my own unearth here available. Okay, so I think I maybe should have played the land of the previous turn, because I have nothing like a scrapwork command, so I don't have that here. So I could have equipped these wings and they would be at 9 now, but no. Giant growth will win them the game. Okay, they choose not to attack. Well, that means they don't have a giant growth in their hand. They have nothing then. Oh, paratrooper even. So, I still wouldn't have threatened lethal even if I had the land on the battlefield on the previous turn by playing a land on the turn before that. So they would be at 9, this would be a 7 power flyer right now. Yeah, they will have to jump block now. So the outcome is very close to same, and now it seems like they did run out of gas. Alright, so do I need to play this land now? I will play this on the end of the turn. 5. Okay, I'm gonna play the land now. The only thing it kind of, you know, allows the opponent to have access to his full information, but I don't think it's even that relevant now, because they can't afford to play around anything in that situation. So I didn't even care about doing the math. So if I draw a land, then I will have what, 9 lands, and no, yeah, well, actually that's true. If I didn't play the land now and I drew another land, then I couldn't have a double activation for this thing. Yeah, because now this is 9 mana sources. So if I drew a land, I would have 10. And not playing the land, that I would, you know, deny myself the opportunity for the double pump, which is very relevant when they are at 3. This is a flyer, and this is gonna be a 3 power flyer with two activations. So that's definitely was the correct choice. Now I think in this matchup, I will at least play the riposte, but I'm gonna actually play the lay down arms too, because it's such a nice answer on the sprite. I will have 2 planes at some point, and that's all I need here. So I'm gonna do that. But now, what are the cuts? I don't think the Power Stone Engineer is so good here now. It still is actually not bad against the Opportunist, even the early sprite, but it's really bad against the Corliss, Survival of Corliss, and the Scrapbook cohort. So I'm gonna cut the Ambush Paratrooper. I kind of replace it with the, you know, Riposte, which is still an early play, so that's fine. I think I'll still play the Wings. What else am I gonna cut? Maybe the Pyrrhic Blast. I didn't see... they could have a prison sentence, which makes Pyrrhic Blast slightly better. Now I do kind of like it in this deck, but yeah, the Rock Hunter also not so great against the stuff I saw. I think the Rock Hunter is the second cut. Now I kind of have these two cheap removal spells, and I replaced my two 2-drops with it. I don't think the Spectrum Sentinel makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is it, I guess. They might have an aggressive start, and I might be in a bit of trouble, but then again, I think that was fine, and I also have a good start myself here. First appearance of the Ernath Cavalry. I haven't seen my precursor golem yet. That could be quite good, and also the epic confrontation, which I saw 2 copies of from them. That doesn't actually trigger the precursor golems. You know, the thing that makes it all the golems be targeted, because it only works with spells that have a single target, and fight spells of course don't. They start with a 1-drop, which is also very good to accelerate the further plays, especially if they do have a 2-drop, which they do. I'm happy about having my third land here, so I'm not going to block here because now I have the elite actually. I mean, they could have an epic confrontation, but if they don't, I can play the elite on the next turn by tapping the Stoneseeker and the token here. But do they have the perfects with also a confrontation there? My turn 3 will be a prison sentence in that case. I don't want to prison sentence any of those guys. I would not mind sentencing the green 2-drop, but yeah, they do have it sadly. I take 5 also. This doesn't tap enchantments, does it? No. Artifacts, creatures, lands, so I can't tap this aura to help pay for this thing. Well, there is the precursor column. The question is, do I have the do I have the time for that? I mean, I just think I have to do this because I need the scry. Also, I need to scry into lands here. This, I believe, is the correct choice. Now I can play the Vanguard. And this is now, I mean, giving me a little bit of time, because of course this also deals a bunch of damage when I don't have any blocks in here. But do they just attack with that? Do they have a 3-drop? Now of course they can use this freely with the Springleaf Drum and the Stalwart, so that's good for them. Okay, they have that thing. And there's the Sprite too. Yeah, I wish they played the Sprite on the prior turn, but alright. This is also a soldier, so if I draw my cavalry there, a land for the cavalry, I can make this into a 3-4, but now let's see if they have another epic confrontation. They actually have only 3 lands in here, so that's a pretty spell heavy draw they are having here. The golem can really turn the game though. And if I, you know, can untap with Loran's Escape up, then even if they have a targeted removal. Oh, they have a Prince of Crook. Actually, they have no artifact creatures now. But I think once they find them, I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay, so now this is a little bit interesting. They have an empty hand, so I'm gonna just play the golem into this board. That's gonna give me a lot of triggers. I guess they are just going to jump block with the Citadel Stalwart. The other option is to play the cavalry now, and then on the next turn have a triple trigger on the cavalry. This can also copy, you know, this target artifact. Okay, so it will be a 1/1 soldiers, but yeah, I guess they have the mana for it. So if they, okay, that's interesting actually. I think I want them to block with the Stalwart now. It's also keeping them from mana to pump the Sprite here. Okay. So this is gonna be a MAI, it's gonna be first strike 8 power, so I mean they are not gonna, you know, be able to kill this even if they put everything there. But the question is, are they gonna take 8 or block with some of the, I mean actually the Honor Guard is worse than the Stalwart, but it's still something. The Honor Guard could have, you know, traded with one of my golems here. And then I can play the cavalry. Is it time for my golem to just win the game? Okay, that is a really good one, because now my golem doesn't really have an attack. I mean, I might still attack into that board, but not maybe with them at. I wish I had my... Imagine if I had a whirling strike here. It's basically game over if I had a whirling strike here. So I'm of course still attacking with... The land isn't bad because that allows me to keep Lawrence escape up. So this is gonna give a counter to the Vanguard. But I should... So this is a 3-4. Oh, but no, I should... No, this being a 3-4 doesn't help me at all. I mean, they will just block with the elite here. Yeah, it's the same, they had exactly the 4-4 because I had a good attacks with the golems. I mean, I will sacrifice one golem if I'm gonna attack with all of them. They will just eat one of them for free, which is something I can do actually. Yeah, I guess I should, do this, and it will be about 5 power first strike now. And I have the escape here, which I could also, I mean, I guess a triple scry if I just save my golem, but I'm not sure if that's worth it. So this is now... Okay, I let them eat one of the guys for free. And I might use the escape. I mean, they still have at least one epic confrontation, so I would want to leave mana up for that thing. Oh, they're also choosing to do that. I mean, I guess they are afraid of a whirling strike, so they want that guy to die. Now, triple scry is not bad, and it will, save the golem from death. They go to 14. They can start making those guys. Whirling strike will be pretty good regardless, I would say. But I think the triple scry is worth it. Okay, let's do that. Hopefully they don't have any. That's gonna exile a Warlord's Elite, but... Oh, it's gonna exile the Urza Prince of Krug. I don't want to give them life, but... And also I kind of waste my 2 other scries if I do that. So what is gonna be the play here? That's a 6 mana activation. I mean, giving him 3 life is not the worst one I can... Yeah, I guess I'm gonna take the lay down arms. At least I can play it with the elite. Yeah, well, that was a... That was a funny one, but... I mean... Not even sure if I want to... Yeah, I guess the Urza is gonna be the bigger problem in the end. So... Yeah. But let's see what they do. They actually do have mana to activate it now, because they can tap with the Stalwart, the Vanguard, and then they can tap one of these with the drum, so they do have 6 mana even if they don't have a land in their hand. It will make a creature drum here. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna make them decide first what to do. Because they have to tap all, all but one of their creatures. I guess it's not a big deal then, because they will get a 1/1 back. It will of course not have the +2/+2 available anymore. They will be able to keep the Warlord's Elite as a blocker here, but I will be able to deal a nice chunk of damage here, and I will let them, again eat the precursor golem. I guess I'm happy enough. If I draw a whirling strike, I'm happy enough. I get to push damage if I do that. Or at least make them jump block with that thing. They have full information, but so be it. So, this first striker gets the pump, yep. And then if I attack with everything, they eat one of the golems and take still a lot of damage here. That's 9 damage minimum. Yep, it's worth sacrificing it. So, I mean, 6 of these damage was dealt because of... I basically threw one golem away to deal 6 damage. That was worth it. And now they chose actually not to block the golem, the precursor golem. That might mean that they have a targeted removal for it, but also they have nothing now. So I mean, I guess it's understandable that the elite is now able to actually just attack into this board. I don't mind if they have nothing in their hand. And of course the cavalry was a threat. This is a threat if I draw any creatures. But let's say I hit a pocket of lands, 4 lands in a row. Not impossible. But I guess if the opponent had 2 lands there, but they must not have 2 lands because on the previous turn they would have played a land because they had the Ursa activation there. So they would have played the 5th land if they had. So whatever spells they had, not gonna help them too much. Alright, well, I mean, Precursor Golem won here. It's not a big surprise that it's a crazy good bomb. On the play, and the first hand that is not really keepable. I mean, these 2 tricks, no red mana. This is not playable until turn 5 with this hand, so I'm gonna mulligan here. And this is still not amazing, but definitely better. If I draw a 3rd land, I have the automaton maybe into Loran. The question is it gonna be the cavalry or the wings or this escape that I'm not gonna keep here? I think it's the 5-drop actually. Because there's no guarantee I'm gonna get to 5 mana anytime soon. I would be happy to get to 4 even. And I have a use for my mana anyway with the wings. Okay, that was a fantastic draw because now I can at least play my turn 3 play here. Hopefully, no, if it trades it's fine because then I can pick it with the Loran. So I don't mind even if it's like a, well, maybe I hope it's not a Power Stone Engineer because I don't want to give them a Power Stone. Rock Hunter, easy trade. Easy trade with the Rock Hunter. And then, because I drew my own Rock Hunter here, I can just play it on the next turn if I don't draw the land. So I have a relevant place. I can even leave 1 up for the Loran's escape. Okay, very same kind of stuff here. But this is now still my play here. I can and will trade my own Loran with the automaton here. I really don't think I have other legendary creatures. Yeah, maybe should have checked it, but I believe I don't have. Whirling Strike. Okay, they're gonna. I mean, that's just a 3/2, so I don't mind it if they use their turn to save that thing. But if they have a very aggressive deck, I understand that choice. Now I think I'm going to just. I'm not gonna wait until 7 mana, so I'm going to do this and play the Rock Hunter to block. I'm still kind of in a raising mode here because of the wings here. I can save one of my guys with the Loran's escape at some point. I have also fewer cards than the opponent, so it's not really a good idea to start trading here. Okay, multiple Swift Spears. Okay, let's see what's their next trick here. Another Whirling Strike. Well, I mean, I guess if you draw 3 lands and all this stuff, it's pretty darn good. Of course, I'm now on the ropes here. Okay, that's actually quite nice, because what I can do now is, well, first of all, I can't really afford to attack anymore, but at least I have good blocks thanks to the Loran's escape. Problem, of course, is that if they just don't attack a Strong Bull, so they choose, maybe they attack with the automaton still, or they choose not to. I'm 1 mana short of playing this as a 3/3, so then I can't have mana up for the escape though. So I think I'm gonna just do it like this. It can still trade with the Blitz automaton. Oh, Prison Sentence on the Strong Bull, but not relevant right now. I am going to, however, attack with the Stone Seeker. I want to keep the escape up. I'm at 7. They have only 1 artifact to sack. I'm not too worried about. If they attack, I will block here. I have some blocks here. Of course, if they have like another Whirling Strike, I can be in trouble. Especially with another. If they have 2 non-creatures, with these prowess creatures will be huge issues here. But let's see how it goes. Cliff Stomper is not really a threat right now. Okay. Paratrooper. Again, I can't do this and have mana up for both of these and then have mana up for the Lawrence escape. Now the combat treasure actually it deals 1 point more in the air, but I don't think I have the luxury to. Don't have the luxury to move around the equipment here, do I? Yeah, it's a tough one, for sure. Want to attack where with the... I feel like I need to use the prison sentence. I'm not even sure if I should actually... Am I afraid of them having a fourth mountain? Because then I just have to kind of jump block it or something. Strongbull is still really annoying though. I think I'm gonna sentence the Strongbull, see what I'm drawing, and then decide what, based on my scry, what to do here. Because I can still choose to, you know, move around the equipment and then have the escape up. I think I just want to have the creature, but I don't want to have any extra lands here, so yeah, the paratrooper is nice, but okay, I'm actually gonna do it like this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this guy on here, because now I can at least trade with the Cliff Stomper using it and still have the escape up. Now they have 4 attackers to my 2 blockers, and this might get some power increase, but I can't really play around everything. If they have like a million tricks in their hand, I have lost the game already. I have to try to win the game against, you know, them having like creatures in their hand, because I need to also be fast here, because they might have some powerful 5-drops they are waiting for, to get some lands. Okay, that is not a threat, and they didn't have a Cliff Stomper mana too. With the conscripted infantry, I like this a lot more now. Okay, now I'm gonna attack for 4 in the air. And yeah, now I do want to play the paratrooper. It's actually gonna be a lethal attack, because this will be a 3 power double striker and this is 2 power guy. So let's say the opponent taps out for a 5-drop that doesn't fly. I think I will just win the game. Now they have 1 sacrifice. This can be a 3-2. Okay, let's see what they attack. Okay, they don't attack, so I think this is lethal. With 1 red mana, I don't think that they can win, especially with the Lawrence escape. So this is a lethal attack in the air. The aeronaut swings being really good here. Okay, so the Swift Spears stopped doing their thing. I mean, that's what happens when you don't have the non-creatures, they are just 1-2s. Opponent still has to be very careful about combat when you know these are around, and the you know player has mana open, cards in hand, but still there wasn't really any great attacks for them now. Okay, so they are really another red-white aggressive deck, which means that lay down arms or deadly riposte, they get to the deck. How, I mean, I do want to have my blockers on there, guys. I guess, yeah, I guess this deck, the Power Stone Engineer, is going to be a useful card. Now, how about the wings? It was really good there, but is it going to be good normally? I think I don't need the Pyrrhic Blast, that's too slow. The Cavalry is nice, still as a way to enhance some of my creatures, and also be a sort of wing on like my flyers were in the previous game. I think I need the cantripper here to, because I'm playing only 16 lands, so if I cut this, I don't like that. So I really could consider not playing the wings, but maybe on the draw it's gonna be cut. I did win the previous game because of the wings, but is that always gonna happen? The wings is a really bad card if you are just trying to defend yourself. So I'm gonna do it like this, maybe on the play. I mean, assuming I if I lose this game. then I might put the wings in. But of course I will learn more about their deck too, so I have better information for sideboarding here. Okay, this is a little bit sketchy hand, but I mean I have a cantrip. I have both colors and these are decent curve outs. I didn't see an excavation explosion from them. I'm going to keep it, hoping that I will, you know, just, well, not face a 1-drop. But I need a play for turn 3 at least. If they're gonna start 1-2 here, I don't like it at all. But okay, well that's something I would want to exile with the lantern, but it's too late now and it's not gonna even die anytime soon. Alright, well that's definitely bad. 2 lands after keeping this hand is bad. Well, that 3-drop is now. That's fine, but let's see. They actually did discard the Cliff Stomper, which is really scary because they have a 3rd mountain. Maybe they weren't holding the mountain there. I don't know, but anyway, this first striker is great against their board. Even if they have a whirling strike, this is double striker. Even if they have a whirling strike, I can still trade with the guy. So this actually is very, very cool. I don't mind if they get a 2-for-1. They will deal some damage, but I actually have now a stabilizing place here thanks to having also the cohort here. Okay, now I just hope they don't find too many ways to sacrifice things with. Now, I actually do like the vanguards like slightly more here. If they don't have, again, if they have another whirling strike, this is still having a first strike, it will be able to trade. And then I can actually start pushing a little bit of damage myself by playing the cohort here. This deals 6. Or maybe the cavalry. Well, we'll see. Okay, so, I mean, I'd rather get rid of this menace guy. Which, you know, potentially has menace, so let them use their whirling strike. It's another 2-for-1 for me. But I'm now, because of that, I'm down to 6 life. Oh, but that is fantastic. Actually, it's such a... Yeah, I'm gonna just do this right now. Maybe I could have used it as a, you know... Okay, maybe I should have done it, you know, in combat. If they had like a 3rd whirling strike, it's possible. But... Okay, so I'm gonna make this block here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to have a 3rd one. But now... Wow, that was just a... I mean, there was like a very little reason to. I guess I was thinking if they drop a planes and have a Lawrence escape of their own, but I would have just won if I could have responded to that whirling strike with that thing. But oh well, it's done now. I'm still in the game. I don't think I have easy ways to gain life, but I mean the opponent has drawn 3 lands and all this, but yeah, now I saw a 3rd whirling strike. Their deck is pretty good, by the way. Alright, well, I'm flooding a bit, but... so they have to double block. Okay, they can just trade the mat with it. I don't like it. So... Maybe I don't let them do that. This blocks the Cliff Stomper, so that's fine. Yeah, but... I mean, this was really... The riposte game was... really nasty one. I need one of my bomb rays now. At least I can start attacking in the air now. So maybe they don't have more whirling strikes. But I lose to 1 excavation explosion, that's the problem. And I will also lose to a 4th whirling strike. That's also a problem, which allows them to win the game. Alright, so I made a mistake. I didn't expect them to have more whirling strikes, but I should have... because there was little reason to not... to play it on that turn. I didn't need the life immediately. And the upside is really good if I get to respond to a whirling strike. But now, based on what I saw, I don't think I really want to have the wings in my deck. I just want to have the same stuff here. This deals with the Cliff Stompers too. Brick Blast in response to a whirling strike is something, yeah, but I think I need one of my expensive cards. I mean, first I need to stabilize, then I need to win, and I have ways to win, a lot of them, so I'm not too concerned here. I will be on the play now too. Yeah. I wish I had a mountain here. I don't think I can keep it. If it was a plains mountain, I would keep it. I would absolutely keep it. I would still need a third land to play either this or this. But now I need specifically one of my 8 mountains. I'm gonna mulligan this. And this is fine, and I don't think I need a lantern here. The Juggernaut can do some work. Once I get to 5 mana. Yeah. And I think I could have won the previous game if I wasn't so hasty guy with the deadly riposte. I'm gonna okay about this. Okay, they're gonna trade with this stuff now. I think I'm just have to allow that to happen because that's just a. I mean, my deck has the. I believe I have the better late game. They can. I don't see a lot of ways for them to sacrifice stuff. So I think I'm gonna actually hold down this guy. I will scry to some. Well, let's see. I think. I mean, I don't have a play for the next turn. That's the problem. But if I don't. Okay, I'm gonna. Unless I draw one of my remaining 5 drops, which are my bombs, I will either still draw the land for the next turn, which I need on turn 5, or at least a spell I most likely can play. So I'm gonna scry both of those to bottom, because I don't want to miss my drop play on the next turn. Of course, if it now takes a lot of time to find my 5th land, I might be very sad about that thing as well. But and they had a reunion for the Blast Runner, but then again I already saved 1 damage by. I mean, because if now this Blast Runner was, if the Blast Runner was now, equipped by the, enchanted by the Prison Sentence, I would have taken extra damage here already. So when they sack this will be dealing 2 extra damage, but it's basically 1 because I would be 16 if I had made a different choice with that thing. Okay, so I did draw the 4 drop. Now, I mean, it's good against the Whirling Strike because it doesn't. It forces them to still, lose 2 cards, and they don't even have an attack now. And now I did draw one of my bombs, so now. Oh, there's nothing I can do now, but man, do I want to just not lose with all these in my hand. That's the thing. I don't want to lose with all this in my hand. Please. I mean, I guess I have only 1 more 5-drop. It's the Precursor Golem, so the next card I'm able to. Okay, they might have a Whirling Strike now. I mean, I'm not taking the 2 damage. I mean, they get a card out of this, but I mean, this is a free block if they don't have the Whirling Strike. And if they do, well, at least I get rid of the Whirling Strike. I just need to find, yeah. At least I see what they're gonna have here. Now it's gonna be either of these things. Oh, that's so nasty. I guess they take the Strong Bull because they might not have the land for the, yeah. Alright, well, this dying isn't the worst. It will give me my 5 drops. But problem is it can't actually block the Blast Runner because they can now haste there to team up. And this will have menace. Yeah, this is. This is nasty. They're gonna sack the Bitter Reunion, and I'm thinking about just some blocking here now. Just to make sure I have the. Yeah, I would love to block the. I'm doing this because I wanna play my Dispenser now. At least this is gonna be surviving most of the stuff they are having. Actually, I could consider the Juggernaut as well, because it can block for 1 turn. Do I want to do that still? This is too expensive to make the tokens with. Although maybe it's not the worst. If I draw land on the next turn, I could make a token and play the Stone Seeker. Well, definitely the opponent's deck is pretty good. The whites I saw in the game 1 is just something they sideboarded away, or or just was a splash, and then I made some assumptions in the game too, assuming they are still a red-white deck. Alright, so Dispenser doesn't draw any cards yet. But I guess on the next turn it might. If I draw a land, I can play the Stone Seeker and make a token and then it will draw land. And the 5 mana removal they might have doesn't kill it. It deals 5 damage though. So... okay, please Automaton. No, they're gonna just go for the... I mean, I guess I could... Nah, this is just... okay, I mean, I'm taking this way too much damage here now. I'm gonna lose to their hasty guys now. Oh, more attackers. Whirling Strike of my own doesn't help me. I need it to land now. Yeah, I know 2 of them are on the bottom because of my Scries, but then again I would not be... I would have had a turn when I had no place. The problem is they can still sack the Blitz Automaton. Well, I guess if they sack that, it's not such a big deal. If they have an artifact in hand, this will be a 3 power, basically unblockable. I'm at... yeah, so if I have only 1 blocker, I think I'm dead on board. I mean, extra, 1 extra in addition to the Dispenser. No, because if they don't have an artifact, they must sacrifice their Automaton. I'm not quite dead on board, but I'm very close to. At least I have a Whirling Strike of my own, if that's anyhow relevant. But yeah, now I'm just gonna lose to so many things. So many things indeed. Okay. I have only 1 plane, so can't even exile any of their stuff. So if I, of course, if they have a Whirling Strike, I will lose. So now I will block here. I have to block the Strongbow and the Rock Hunter, isn't that correct? Oh, actually I could... no. Because now if they sack the Automaton, I go to 4 and then this won't deal damage and then I go to 1 after this thing, but... yep, that's the only block that's gonna do something. But they have a Whirling Strike and I lose. Okay, they don't. Which means I'm gonna save my Stone Seeker, or at least try. They might play around the Deadly Riposte and not play their own Whirling Strike there, but they didn't still have it. No, I'm gonna go to 1 here, regardless. But oh, let's hope they don't have an Excavation Explosion, or, well, I guess I can block the Juggernaut. This is very useless. Oh, it's not. It can deal with the Blast Runner, actually. That is fantastic. It would just be so much more fantastic if I had an extra land here. Because as you know... no, I can still play the Juggernaut, so it's not the worst. Okay, this is fantastic. So let's exile this thing. Yeah, I don't need the white move or anything. Because this is castable thanks to the Power Stones. Now, I get to draw even a card. Oh, this would be so... if I can untap with the Riposte, I would like my chances a lot more. I will still lose to an Excavation Explosion, of course. So another Whirling Strike, automatic win for them. Because no matter how I block, I will lose to a Whirling Strike. Because this will be a 5 power trampler, or this will be a 7 power trampler. And I'm at 1 here, so even double blocking on the Automaton isn't going to do the trick here. But they didn't have it on the previous turn, so they needed to top deck it now. I'm just considering if I should, you know, block in a... which am I supposed to throw? I think I'm gonna just do this and... okay, they had no Whirling Strike. Let's sack the one with... well, doesn't matter. No Excavation Explosion either. Okay, that allows me to get me a... well, first of all, I of course have to just attack with the Juggernaut. This makes a soldier, yeah, so I can... okay, they can unearth the Juggernaut with an extra land though. So now I can make a creature so I can draw a card. And then I have a Deadly Riposte still up. And then I have a soldier I can, you know, even target with this Cavalry's ability. Okay, so it's so sad that I'm losing to an Excavation Explosion that I haven't seen from them yet, but this only gains me 2 lives, so it's not gonna be enough. So with the land I have now, I'm just gonna play the land for regardless. So I do wanna have mana up for them. For the riposte, so I'm gonna just play the Stone Seeker here. Because of this thing I have to leave my 6 toughness creature to block. So I can do this, I will draw a card and then I have the riposte mana. And I can make a token if there's nothing else at the end of turn. But yeah, this Juggernaut is good because it actually allows me to deal damage so that I can win the game. So I'm not losing the Whirling Strike now because of the riposte. And they can't really unearth and strike at the same time. They don't have the mana for that. Okay, that's a land. Okay, so it's time to have a 2-turn clock here, isn't it? Well, let's first start with this here, and then I'm just going to attack with this, and probably with this guy. I'm gonna leave the 2/2 here. They might block even. So that is now 8 damage. I have a pretty much of a lethal attack for the next turn. So now I need to dodge one more turn of Excavation Explosion, because I can target my own tapped creature to gain 2 life, but 2 life isn't gonna be enough against 3 damage to face. Okay then. Attack with everything and hope we don't get punished. I mean, there's no card that can allow them to win here. Alright. Now, a misplay from me in the game 2 with the Deadly Riposte. I actually thought they have run out of their Whirling Strikes, but nope. They had a third one, which I saw only 2 in the game. Was that third or fourth? But anyway, it was at least. I had seen all the ones I had seen in the first game. Yeah, this was tough. They had this unearth, but I had a 4/6 to block the old trample there. Yeah, I guess I needed this dispensary to win this game at least fast enough. But yeah, I would have wanted to see how the game 2 went if I was patient with my riposte, and if I did respond to their Whirling Strike, I would have been at a higher life total. I would have actually been able to save my creature that otherwise was lost in combat and all that. But hey, I still won the match, so let's not dwell on the one mistake too much here now. Also, I was a full 3 match wins, but of course the deck was. I mean, of course the deck was lacking in one department, which usually happens when I draft red, is that I have like at least 2 excavation explosions. Well, this deck didn't have any of that. My only removal was the prison sentence and then the sideboarded stuff here. But of course the highlight of the deck was, Platoon Dispenser and the Precursor Golem, both of which helped me win the games. The Fallacy Vanguard, pretty amazing card. And then also it was nice to have a little bit of synergy with the Disciple. Let's now see if there are any legendary creatures. There are not. You would recognize it from this legendary border if I had, so there was no further triggers for this thing. But of course, something I should definitely mention is the Horned Stoneseeker, which is just a fantastic 2-drop here. So yeah, this would be a better deck if I had some of the cards replaced by maybe an Excavation Explosion or 2. Maybe 2 is a little greedy to demand, but I have had like 4 of them in some of my decks. But yeah, this was a really good deck anyway, thanks to the bombs. So getting the 3 wins isn't such a surprise. That was it for this video. I'm quite close to opening all my packs, but I think I'm still not doing that. So the next video will be another draft video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.